Welcome to our Black History Month 2020 presentation video.
This month, all classes have been finding out about famous black artists from past and present.
We had a look at the most famous pieces of art and studied their styles of work.
We then created our own pieces in the style of the artists.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentations. Nursery Reception and Year 1 focused on artwork by Kehinde Wiley.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, gilondoloze, ambenami, zungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, gilondoloze, ambenami, zungangishilana. I'm not perfect, I came from ruthless times as a juvenile. Ilondoloze, Zungangishilana. Look into my eyes, see pain and sacrifice. What's goes on my mind, trying to survive. Ilondoloze, Tomaka hema wuru, oti wuru si wuru. Emi won wa mi ni gboro, toju ko oju o. Mi eni teji sori, time si mi solo. Láti Ìkọ̀rọ̀ sí gboro, down to Ìkòròdú o.
Aikolana, buso wami, aukolana. Ilondoloze, zuhambena, yawo yami, aikolana, buso wami, aukolana. Ilondoloze, zuhambena.
Black History Month. White Top class have been looking at the work of American artist Candy White. Here is some of his work. I like the flowers. I like the people. She looks beautiful. I'm hungry.
Jerusalem, Ikayalami, Gilondoloze, Ambenami, Zungangishilana, Jerusalem, Ikayalami, Gilondoloze, Ambenami, Zungangishilana. Oh, you are I'm not perfect. I came from ruthless times. As a juvenile.
I like everybody's picture because they look so bright. I like the clothes and I like my present. It makes me happy. I like when I did my heart. I look everybody's pictures because they look beautiful. And I love my heart. I love my flower. Look at our portrait! Like a portrait!
Ishilana, look into my eyes, see pain and sacrifice. What's goes on my mind? Just trying to survive. Ilondoloze, Sungangishilana, Tomaka ema uru, Oti uru si uru, give me one minute uru, Tojuku oju, yeah, no teju suru, time see me solo, Lati karasi buru, down to Ikorodu.
We were looking up in the Wiley. We made some portraits. Take a look at our background. This is my self-portrait. The night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light I will see. So I won't be afraid for I won't be afraid of the sun and the sand. Stand darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand. Stand by me, stand by me. Did I stand? The double and gone, all around me. I will see. I will fly. I will fly. I will stand by me, and darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand by me, stand by me. Year 2 based their work on Tam Joseph. She's Chadwell class learned about Tam Joseph for Black History Month.
Long live the king, you a king, you know it. King already, you know it. Top everything, you know it. King already, you know it. My body, soul, got a king body. Body gon' shine, bling, bling body. Calling all the shots, ring, ring body. Crown on your head, got a king body. Long live the king, you a king, you know it. King already, my baby.
We love Tam Joseph. We recreated Tam Joseph's UK school report.
You know it. Top everything, you know it. King already, you know it. Shine already, it's time already. Align already, it's time already. Shine already, it's time already. The line already, it's time already.
Try to stop it, me say no, no, no. Royalty said what you no, no, no. Try to stop it, me say go, 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 go. Bubble up and watch it go, 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 go.
This is very rude. It's because they are not letting this person just take one single point, and they got so many. That's the problem. And that's very rude. And there's literally 2 policemen. And that's very rude. No. It's not fair.
Why do you think it's not fair?
It's because he only got one single coin, and they got like thousands of coins. And the 2 policemen chasing after him when he only got 1 coin that he wants to get.
Whopping class went with Faith Ringgold.
And Highburn Islington went with Jarrell Gibbs.
Jarrell Gibbs is a famous artist. His art is about families and memories.
Jarrell Gibbs is from Baltimore. Jarrell Gibbs graduated from Maryland Institute of Art, Baltimore in 2020. He took a photo of his family and painted it out. Who is still alive? Jarrell Gibbs' work is shown at the Harbour Bank in Maryland. Jarrell Gibbs is a famous artist, and his photos are made from memories and family. Gibbs, he likes to do simple things to make it easy.
Jarrell Gibbs shows photography from African American in music. His style is from his family.
His pictures show characters from his own family.
We drew around these pictures to manage what else was outside the photograph.
We are learning about Jarrell Gibbs, and we've been drawing some of his pictures and trying to trace them on tracing paper. He wants to inspire people in the US that they can do art. He used pictures to do art in his style.
Gerald Gibbs works from Polaroids, then turns them into full-size paintings.
We have used colouring pencils and other materials to inspire us. Here's some examples for our work. People in class, for Black History Month, we discovered work of American artist and activist Faith Rhodes.
Faith Rhodes was born in Harlem, New York City in 1913.
She later wrote Novel's first published in 2008.
While working as an art teacher, she created a series of paintings called American Eagle, which portrayed the civil rights movement from a female perspective.
She is famous for a narrative quotes that showed the importance of family and equality to her. We noticed the strong family theme among her narrative quotes, so we made our own.
Her work denounces racism and equality. She recognized equality between man and woman artists as a result. She has helped set up centuries in New York where women can display their artwork.
Everybody are the conquer, yeah. Every king be stronger, yeah. King the rule them longer, yeah. Remember who you are, oh. Real king always be no. Give up the brave, I show your people my love. You sang my ready, I say you sang my ready. You line already, I say you line already. Calling you got the remedy, I say you got the remedy. Shine your body, shine your body.
Long live the king, you know it. King already, you know it. Top everything, you know it. King already, you know it. My body so got a king body. Body gon' shine, bling, bling body. Calling all the shots, ring, ring body. Crown on your head.
In Year 4, Robert Highland Caledonian Road
Studied the work of Cara Walker.
October is Black History Month. We recognize Black History Month because it's a great time to learn about important Black figures, injustices that happen, and offer our hopes for the future.
we spend time learning about Black artists.
Yep.
We focus on Cara Walker. She was born in California in 1969.
She was inspired to create art which reflected her experience as a Black person in America.
She placed silhouettes on top of pictures from history.
The pictures often contain pictures of Black slaves or sometimes have no Black people in at all. By putting the silhouettes of Black people on them, she inserted herself into historical images.
Makes people consider the differences between light and dark and black and white.
Cara Walker also thinks a lot about family.
Some of her work shows family together and apart.
We thought about how, at the moment, we are in a class prize.
We have all our lessons, lunchtimes and break times together as our pride. Our pride is like a kind of family to us. We support each other and make sure everyone feels like they belong, no matter what. We drew pictures of our community hub, the school, and pasted our own silhouettes on top of them.
We thought about our community and school family.
We inserted ourselves into the school's history,
We belong here at Randall Creamer.
where we can celebrate our similarities and differences.
Due to COVID-19, we have created a unique presentation to celebrate Black History Month. We hope you enjoy.
Kara Walker is an American artist that has many talents, one of which is creating silhouettes.
We began our journey by exploring some of her wonderful work, and it was all to do with silhouettes. We created our own silhouettes from pictures of our side profiles and also creating some interesting scenes.
Silhouettes create a wonderful message of an image because the attention is focused on something specifically meaningful and powerful. Over the last 3 weeks, we have been practicing very hard to create our own silhouettes of all kinds.
Kara Walker has inspired us to create our own silhouettes to represent something powerful and meaningful to us all. Our family!
In Year 5 Camden Road, they looked into the artwork of Clementine Hunter.
And Canada Water chose to go with British artist Labena Himid.
Welcome to Camden Road Assembly. For Black History Month, we learned about a self-taught African-American artist called Clementine Hunter. Why do we celebrate Black History Month? Black History Month was created to promote, remember, and celebrate the contributions of Black people to society. It honors all Black people from all periods of history.
Clementine Hunter was born in late 1886 or early 1887 and lived until she was over 100 years old.
She lived on Menlo Plantation in Louisiana in the United States.
She was known for her painted representation of the early 20th century plantation life in Louisiana.
Hunter worked as a farm laborer in her early life. She never learned how to read or write and never had any art lessons. Later, when she was around 50 years old, she began painting. Inspired by the art materials she found left by an artist who visited the plantation. Hunter painted in the evenings after work during the day in the plantation house.
She used whatever material she could find, including canvas, wood, gold, wine bottles, and plastic milk jugs.
Take a look at these examples of her work.
Hunter's paintings use bright colours and show everyday life of the Black community, living and working on the plantation. They are a celebration of the lives of African communities.
We have taken inspiration from her work to create our own day in the life art project to show the school. This is our version to celebrate the lives of everyone in the local community of Oxford.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed our assembly.
Canada also has been studying the work of artist Labena Himid. Labena was born in Zanzibar in 1954 and moved to the UK when she was just 4 months old.
She became interested in art and colours at an early age as her mother was a textile designer, and so they spent lots of time in clothing shops looking at different fabrics and touching them.
In the 1980s, when she was a young woman, Labena became involved in the Black Arts movement to better represent people like herself.
We started our study of Labena by imagining we were visiting an exhibition of hers which was in Oxford a few years ago. We set up the classroom like
the exhibition and walked around making notes of different artworks.
We then discussed what Lublina could have been representing for art and what each picture was trying to tell us. We focused on a piece of art called Swallow Hard. This piece was made up of many different pieces of Lancaster dinnerware, such as plates and bowls that Lublina had bought in charity shops over the years.
She chose Lancaster dinnerware because she lived in Lancaster and worked at the university. Lancaster was involved in the slave trade, and Lublina wanted to represent black people by adapting the plates. She took the plates with their traditional designs and painted over them to represent black people, such as their faces and different symbols.
We looked at these pieces of artwork and then began imitating the Lancaster dinnerware leaf and flower designs. We spent time practicing and then used colored pencils to design a large dinner plate, which we then stuck onto a cardboard plate.
Following this, we looked at symbols and logos for Black Lives Matter and Black History Month and practiced creating our own versions of these.
We used a separate piece of paper and painted our second piece of art on this before finally sticking it on top of our original plate design. We have imitated Lublina's work in this way and have created a similar double layer to her.
Finally, we had our own art show. We took it in turns to look at each other's artwork and give feedback on it, and then had many presentations where people explained the patterns and designs they had chosen and their reason for doing so.
We learned a lot about how art can represent activities, work, and address inequalities in society.
And finally, in Year 6, Kentish Town and Surrey Quays both focused on Jonathan McHugh's artwork on the Windrush.
For Black History Month, Surrey Quays did art related to the Windrush. We started by researching about it.
The Empire Windrush voyage from the Caribbean to Tilbury took place in 1948. Believe it or not, very few migrants intended to stay in Britain for more than a few years. During the war, thousands of Caribbean men and women were recruited to serve the armed forces.
On June 22, 1948, the day that the Windrush discharged its passengers at Tilbury, this has become an important landmark in the modern Britain, and the image of the Caribbean fighting off its gangplank has come to symbolize many of the changes which has taken place here. Caribbean migrants have become a vital part of British society and in the process transformed important aspects of British life.
The Caribbeans were excluded from much of the social and economic life around them. They began to adjust the institutions they brought with them, the churches, and the cooperative method of saving called the parliament system. At the same time, the Caribbean began to participate in the institutions to which they didn't have access: trade union, local council, and staff and professional associations.
When the Windrush stopped in Jamaica to pick up the servicemen who were on leave from their units, many of the former comrades decided to make the trip in order to rejoin the RAF, Royal Air Force.
Jonathan McHugh is a producer, director, and music supervisor. He did a lot of art reflecting the Windrush. We tried to imitate his art.
Year 6, we looked at the Windrush generation to create our art pieces. We first had to research about the period in British history.
We had been looking at art to celebrate important events in Black British history. I'll also be reading you a story called Coming to England by Fowella Benjamin.
To England feeling special, like a princess, but was made to feel like a scavenger, begging for a piece of what I thought was mine. I had been told that I was part of the British Empire. Was that a lie? My dreams and visions had been shattered, but I was in England now, and there was no turning back. I had to learn to survive. Now, Kentish Town West is going to be showing you their art.
We did some artwork that sends messages about Black people in their life after the Windrush. This one examples the expectations for England, like how it's supposed to be like all sunny and there's a lot of trees and it's beautiful. But they got this a dark place with not that much clouds and it's raining and no, it wasn't that happy. This one represents a father and a son. They're being pushed away from the Caribbean, and this one resembles that they're being pushed away by newspapers and like adverts. But the dad thinks like it's really good, but the kid still has like a little part in that still wants to stay, and they find out why.
This is I drew this, which is it's a collage. It inspired me because I had a lot of quotes from black people. It's because how they were feeling when they went to England. Because this is all based on Windrush generation.
This is my image of the Windrush generation for Black History Month. This was in 1948, and my favourite part is how the people from the Caribbean dressed up.
My drawing of the Empire Windrush. All these people I drew came from the Caribbean to Britain from this specific
era, a time of terror. Screams of war will come knocking at your door. England's broken, the people of the Caribbean are determined to fix this mess, but it's worse than this. Discrimination is in this nation. Black people can strive, filled with pride, instead they're stuck down low where the sun doesn't show. Racism's not right. That's why people fight every day for their rights. But still despite, the Windrush scandal was recently handled. The Windrush era, a time to remember, it will be stuck in our hearts forever.
Brown skin girl, her skin just like pearls, the best thing in the world. Never trade you for anybody else. And brown skin girl, her skin just like pearls, the best thing in the world. I never trade you for anybody else. Singing.
She says she really grew up poor like me. Don't believe in nothing but the Almighty. Just a little jeans and a pure whitey. She never dreamed forever be nobody wifey. Yeah. She wanna mean a pretty but your heart is a me. Play you like a villain cause she caught in a way. Tonight I am walking away. 9 to 5 mine and I grind, yeah. Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fights it by falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. Your back against the world. I never trade you for anybody else. A brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing in the world. I never trade you for anybody else.
Pose like a trophy when Naomi's walking. She need an Oscar for that pretty dark skin. Pretty like Lupita when the camera's closing. Drip broke the levee when my Kelly's rolling. I think tonight she might braid her braids. Melanin too dark to throw her shade. She minds her business and winds her waist. Go like 24K. Okay.
Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fights it by falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. Your back against the world. I never trade you for anybody else. A brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing in the world. I never trade you for anybody else.
Oh, have you looked in the mirror lately? Wish you could trade eyes with me. Cause there's complexities in complexion, but your skin is glow like diamonds. Dig me like the earth you be giving me. Everything alive, baby, know your way.
Thank you for watching our presentation video. Bye!
Be the same skin taking over. Most things out of focus view, but when you're in the room, they know